Hey everybody, it's Lachelle, America's Supermom, and we are on day 10 of our challenge. So I hope you guys are doing good with your 30 minutes of exercise and your reading. Today was a really good day. I got a lot of insight and information because I was able to attend a free global summit that was hosted by my coach, Camelita. You guys hear me talking about her. But it was just an awesome opportunity to listen to 12 different speakers. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of them, but it was like a marathon, where it started at 10 a.m. I'm thinking it was Eastern Standard Time. And then it rolled out to, no, it wasn't 10 a.m. It was 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So some great insights from some great mentors. I just claim them as my mentors today. But today's message that really resonated with me was perspective. And that's what I want to talk about today as we focus on closing up day 10. So I know it's kind of late that I'm doing this post, but it really was a great day to kind of get some insight into how we think and how that affects our thoughts, how it affects our behavior, which ultimately affects our outcomes. Because if we're not doing anything, we're not going to receive a lot of the things that we're dreaming about. If you want to get more clients, but you're not out there talking to people or, marketing, making posts, blogging, or any of the things that generate activity to your website or just an opportunity for you to get in front of people, then you're not going to get any clients. So we just have to be mindful of that. But when it comes to perspective, Dr. Paul Jenkins is the one who did this illustration about 2 brain hacks that we really need to think about. And 2 of the problems that we really have when it comes to our thought process is one, judging, and the second one is prediction. So if you're coming from a judging mindset, a lot of times, you're judging yourself, you're judging other people, you're judging their work. It's always from a judgment as to it's not good enough or it's all right or comparison. It's just kind of like a negative place that you're coming from with this judgment. So in order to kind of combat that, change your perspective into a perspective of gratitude. Think about ways that you can look at your experiences and see them from an attitude of gratitude. So he gave us the illustration that he had surgery on his Achilles heel. And he said one of the things that he has found is that he has gratitude for his wife, who is now his Uber driver, and she does all these things for him. And he said, I could say that anytime, but it really has gotten to be more important now that he has had limited mobility with recovering from his surgery. And so he gave us the mindset that, even though something negative can occur, we still can have gratitude and think about something else that can come out of it. So I use the example of, I can only talk about my own experiences and myself. And when you think about going through depression, anxiety, stress, you think about now, of course, that's not a place that you want to go. But after you've overcome these things, then you have a platform that you can help other people that you might not have had you not experienced that and gone through it, because there's nothing that you could say that might resonate with people if you haven't experienced it yourself. So that's something positive that I can get out of that experience, which it has even led to what I do every day, which is coaching through overcoming, a major life-altering experience, not just one time, but 3 times. So the second thing was prediction. So for this, he gave us an illustration. He got this message, and he only got part of the message because it came on his watch, and it's, the way that it was worded, it sounded like something really bad was happening. and, kind of like life-threatening near death or whatever. And he got part of the message, and so it just kind of consumed him during this presentation. He wasn't really all the way there. After the presentation, he gets with his sister who had sent him this message, and it had partially read that someone in his family had fell from ... And so, it just didn't sound good because it was a high peak or something that they were at. And so the whole message said that he fell from a waterfall and he had broken two of his ankles. So he gave us the analogy of seeing, broken ankles, that could be a bad thing. But compared to the prediction that he and most other people probably thought when they saw the ... it was something a lot worse than broken ankles, because we had tried to predict based on part of the message that it was going to be something negative. And so he was giving us the illustration that if you're coming from a judging mindset a lot of times, which is negative, you make these predictions more for the negative side instead of being in your creative capacity to think about how you can improve things. And so one of the things that we do to combat prediction is to think about how we can create things. So he said, you might have started off this day, maybe it hasn't been the best, but how can you end the day with something positive, or this day being better than it started? What are some things that you can do to end the day? So if you flip that perspective around to something positive, to creation, to just a different outlook, it really can change your daily routine and your daily habits. So you can have the mindset to think that, one, you are a creator. You do have a choice to create what kind of day you have. You have a choice to create how you're going to end the day. You have a choice to decide how you're going to allow things to affect you or not to affect you. And so you realize that with you having this power, how are you going to use this power to the best of your knowledge? How are you going to use it to where it really moves you forward? How is it going to allow you to get closer to your dreams, aspirations, and goals? So perspective is really important because we have the ability to choose which perspective we have, whether it's positive or negative, whether it's creation or prediction. Prediction usually goes off of something in the past, maybe some kind of history or something that we recall has happened before that may or may not have been good. But when you're creating something, it comes from newness, something that may not even be in existence, something different, unique. So just making that choice to decide, what kind of day are you going to have? Are you grateful for the things that you have? And with being grateful, are you going to use that energy to create new things? Or are you going to just succumb to the same old thing? So I challenge you all to think about your perspective. What kind of lens are you looking through? Is it a positive lens? Is it a negative lens? The choice is ours. And if you feel like you need help with seeing things from a positive lens, begin to evaluate who is it that you are around that's affecting that perspective that you're having. What are some things that you can change that can help you move forward with a positive outlook? So I want to thank you all for joining me on this challenge again. We've made it through day 10, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. Bye.